Hi! Welcome to Bertie's Books. This is Liz on her own doing a shelf tour. Gareth will go after me, but since most of the books on this shelf are mine, I'm going first. So this is one of several bookcases we have in this room. Hi Bertie! You don't... I know. Yeah, you can be in the video too. Yeah, you can. Okay. Okay, you want to help mommy. This is one of several bookcases we have in this room. And this is where some of my fun books are stored, because it's one of the higher shelves and you can fit a lot of the more artsy hardcover books on the bottom. So to start, I guess from this end, there's a lovely book I got for Christmas. It's the Wes Anderson Collection. It's a wonderful art book and goes through all of Wes Anderson's films up to, I think, right before Grand Budapest Hotel. I think this came out the same year. So you can see I opened it right to Bill Murray. Some gorgeous pictures, lots of bits and pieces, interviews, wonderful stuff. Fantastic Mr. Fox. Lovely book. It's one of my favorites. Next book is one that I just got recently from Gareth for my birthday or Christmas.
Your birthday?
Birthday, yes. My 30th birthday. He got me the Discworld Imaginarium by Paul Kidby. And it's just a huge collection of Paul Kidby's artwork for the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett. And I'm a huge Terry Pratchett fan, so this... and of course Paul Kidby, so this was a really nice surprise, and I looked through it many, many times. The art is amazing, and somehow Kidby is able to capture exactly what I imagined Discworld to look like. So I'm quite happy with that. Put that on the shelf. The next couple books are childhood books, sort of. One is an Amelia Bedelia book that my mom got me. It's the 50th anniversary edition. My mom used to read Amelia Bedelia to me when I was little. And we also have an Erguet, Tintin. We have another one, but this is a taller one. This is in the original French. We are trying to do better with our French in this house. In the next book is also a gift from Gareth from a few years back. This is when they started releasing the Harry Potter series fully illustrated. It's a gorgeous book, gorgeous illustrations. I wanted to do the complete set. I stopped buying Harry Potter stuff because of the support they're giving Johnny Depp, and I don't believe in giving money to causes that I don't believe in, Johnny Depp being one of them. So at the moment all Harry Potter purchases are paused, which is sad because those books are really gorgeous. The next book is another very well-loved book. It's the Hamilton Revolution text. I got this right when the book came out. I had it ordered from the US because I was like, I need to get the US edition. So it took a bit longer to get here, but it is a masterful little piece of work. It's the whole libretto with gorgeous pictures of the original cast and side notes from Lin-Manuel Miranda. And I just love how it's printed like an 18th century text. So we look at, say here, they've titled different sections in a very sort of 18th century style. It's a gorgeous book. I really recommend buying one of these. It's well worth the money, especially if you love the musical, which we do. Well, I do at least. One of the top books is a book for my mom. Everything I need to know I learned from A Little Golden Book. I used to have tons of little golden books when I was little, so she bought me this as just a little surprise gift once. Next one is a very marked up version of Literary Theory, an anthology. I know I said this is our my fun shelf, but I think this is the only place this thing would fit. I've had it since I was an undergrad, and it has come in handy ever since. It's not very exciting inside, but as you can see, it's very annotated with my own notes. The next is another critic. It's Maria Tatar, Enchanted Hunters, The Powers of Stories in Childhood. So this is a really good critique on Brothers Grimm, classic fairy tales, up to, I think, contemporary children's books. It's I did a lot of work with Victorian children's literature as an undergrad, so this was I don't know if it was out at the time I was an undergrad.
Is it published by?
It's published by, I believe, Norton, yeah, because my best friend used to work for Norton.
She did I think it was for Norton, she did an annotated Peter Pan, might be wrong.
Yeah, no, you might be right,
she did an annotated Brothers Grimm as well.
Yeah, I think, I'd look it up right now. She came to talk at my college when I was an undergrad, and she's very good.
Yeah,
so
I saw her in Windsor somewhere.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was on Fairy Tales, conference on Fairy Tales. She was there. Nobody knew how to pronounce her surname though.
Oh, and then another guy.
Tantan. Tintin.
Tantan.
That's a smaller one than the previous one?
Yeah, but it's still gorgeous.
Yeah.
And in the original French. I have this old English critique book. It's Impressions of English Literature. It's actually a text that was given to me by my best friend's grandparents, who I love very much. They've since passed away, but this is one of the books that they once gave me when I visited, and I obviously treasure it and like to keep it on my shelf.
Who wrote it?
It is by... It's actually it's several collected essays. Oh, and
unlike the next one.
Which is another J.K. Rowling. It's Pliable Vacancy, which I haven't gotten around to reading yet. But I did want to get, obviously, a first edition when it came out, because I'm like that. Yeah, J.K. Rowling has since fallen in my estimation, ever since her support of Johnny Depp. And that it upsets me a lot. So it's quite depressing when, someone you were very fond of as a child kind of shows not their true colors, but makes a poor decision, I'll say. The next book is a book I got for Christmas a few years back. It's Broken Monsters by Lauren Bukes. I can't really remember much about it just by the cover. That usually means it didn't leave a huge lasting impression, but I do appreciate the cover art, which is one of the reasons why it is on my shelf. The next book I haven't actually read yet, but I got it off Amazon because it really interested me. It's the 13 and a Half Lives of Captain Blue Bear, which it's a novel, but it's also has amazing illustrations in it. I haven't gotten around to reading it. The text is also quite interesting. You can see there's different fonts and things like that. It's kind of like House of Leaves in a way. I mean, it's not the same subject matter, but it's that kind of
House
like
of Leaves
playing
for children, is it?
Yeah. Well, it's the playing with form, not just within the text, but with the text that really interests me. And yeah, this is I've had this for all the Joyland by Stephen King. I think I just got this at a W.H. Smith. I like it because it's got one of those pulpy covers, and it fits with the story. The next several books are Jasper Fforde books. I'll go to the top ones in a minute. Two are the Last Dragon Slayer books. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 of the Thursday Next novels. I'm missing a few of them, which makes me a very bad fan. And then the last 2 are the nursery rhyme crime ones that are connected to the Thursday Next series. They are amazing books, which I mentioned I think in our first video, and if you love literature, these are really amazing, fun books to read. And also there are 2 copies actually of Shades of Grey. There's this one, which is the normal sized one, which I actually found in a charity shop, and I was so excited. Because when I ordered this off of Amazon, this is what I got, which is it's an interesting book. It's printed like this, so it's like a pocket edition. Yeah, here you go. Gareth will hold it up to the camera a bit better. But obviously it was a little harder to read. But it was still quite interesting. And no, the Amazon listing did not specify what the book looked like. The next is, I think, one of the first gifts you ever gave me.
Yeah.
Which is the League of Regrettable Superheroes, and it just goes through some of the not so famous superheroes that were
Kid Eternity? Is that?
Kid Eternity.
What does he say?
Hey, Keeper, wake up! We're needed down on Earth.
Is that Timekeeper or something?
I guess. This is by Andreas Barba. I hope I'm saying that correctly. It's called Such Small Hands. I found this when we were in Bath at a lovely little bookstore. And it looks creepy, and rightly so. It's a pretty good creepy little story. Very good book. Maybe we should review it. I think it'd be good. And then I've got my earmarked graphic novel, The Thrilling Adventures of Lovelace and Babbage. It started online as a comic, and it stars Ada Lovelace and Charles Babbage, who, if you don't know, were pretty much the first creators of, well, computers and programming. Ada Lovelace was Lord Byron's daughter, and she wrote the first computer program. And of course Babbage did the Difference Engine. It's a bit steampunkish, I guess you'd say, sort of. But it's quite fun, especially if you're a Victorianist like I am. What I really appreciated about it is that the author, Sydney Padua, she does her research, and everything is annotated and almost in essay format. It's a great book. And the last book, I saved this for last because it's another example of a book where it's not just the prose, it's the format. So this is my best friend's Exorcism. You can see it's got a bit of a yearbook vibe to it. And so when you open it, it's actually signed by the characters. And you kind of get, like you get a Cicero quote, like you find in a yearbook. Got yearbook pages to start it off before the book actually starts, and it's the same in the end here. Yeah,
so it's not normal prose otherwise.
Yeah, it's normal prose otherwise. But it is flanked by that yearbook type look. And the one they've released in paperback is sort of done in an 80s edition, so I do want to get that.
There's a guy on BookTube again he's done a review of the paperback one, and it looks like a VHS.
Yeah,
like an old
it's so
VHS
cool.
From the 80s,
yeah, I like that. I think what's interesting, what's helpful for book survival, especially like physical books, is the unique aspects that you can bring to to a book. I think the more special you can make it, the more special people will realize books are.
Hi BookTube, this is the second of our bookshelf tours. and this is the top shelf of the Billy bookcase. So I'm going to begin with the beautiful P.G. Wodehouse Everyman editions here, which we have quite a few of. It used to be, if we had any spare money, we'd buy one of these because they're just really beautiful editions. And we now have, how many? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, well, 14. So I don't think we'll get all of them. But,
I want to.
Yeah.
We got one on. We got a nice. Which one did we get on our trip? When we got engaged. I got us one, didn't we? We got one. Oh, it was P. Smith. Not P. Smith,
Leave
but
it
Smith.
to Smith.
Yeah.
Leave it to Smith. Yeah. Obviously, Liz has never read any. Cause, you would know that it's not.
It's not P.
pronounced
Smith.
as
It's
Smith.
It's Smith. Forgive me.
Yeah. So some of the we have some of the early ones. So Mike and Smith, which is sequel to Mike at Riken, originally published in one book. This is Smith and the City. Smith's a great character. Mike and Smith is probably my favourite, but the others are really good as well. Actually, no, Leave It to Smith is my favourite.
I should clarify. No, it's Smith. I just say P. Smith because that's how it appears in my
Oh,
brain.
Yeah, yeah. I know most people do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have the early ones. We have some Jeeves. We've got the masterpiece not the masterpiece. One of the masterpiece Carry On Jeeves and the masterpiece Code of the Woodhouse.
Say, correct
Yeah,
yourself.
sorry. Got one of the Mulliner tales.
You might want to explain also
Collections.
about our own Bertie.
And yeah, our dog Bertie, of Bertie's Books fame, is of course named after Bertie Wooster. So yeah, there's a link there. And we have one of the very latest one, oh well, not one of the very latest, one of the ones he wrote during the Second World War, which is apparently very good.
We also met over at Wodehouse
I haven't read
Book.
it. We met, yeah, we did. Yeah, I was working
Vaguely.
on an exhibition for books for boys, what boys were reading in the run up to the First World War, and one of the exhibitions was a P.G. Wodehouse book called
Swoop?
The Swoop, and it's about how England's invaded by several countries, and the saviour is a Boy Scout, I think called Clarence. I can't remember exactly.
I don't remember.
But basically, if you read the plot briefly, it sounds brilliant, and actually it's terrible. And I think I told you that. But if you've never read a P.G. Wodehouse book, I would recommend starting with. What would I recommend? Right Ho Jeeves, perhaps. So one of the Jeeves and Wooster ones. Really funny, sort of beautiful, farcical comedies, some of which are just perfect. But these editions are especially nice because they're, if you can see this, but they're bound with thread and glue. So they're beautifully bound and they look great. I have these older editions.
No, they're first editions, Gareth.
First editions.
I know this
by
because...
Herbert Jenkins Limited. As you can see, they're slightly battered, slightly grim, but it's nice to have
I got you
first
that.
editions. I know you did. And I got you this, I think.
Yes, you did.
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's not thread bound, but it's a nice edition. And includes a bunch of other short stories by Stevenson, I think. Yeah, The Body Snatcher, a story called Markheim, which I've never even heard of. But yeah, Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is a bit of a classic. These are yellow paperbacks. They're based on railway fiction from back in the day, back in the 19th century when railways started obviously being laid down and people needed stuff to read when they were on the trains. But this is a W.H. Smith sort of special that they did, and I grabbed a bunch of them.
Including
The Warden, which I've never been able to read because it's just so boring, but I've been told it's really good. I really like so it's part of the Barsetshire books, and I've read a couple of the others and really like them, so I should really give that a go. Silas Marner, which is obviously George Eliot, whom I love, and Henry James, Turn of the Screw, and other stories. What can I say about Henry James? Well, The Portrait of a Lady is brilliant. His later books are very difficult to read, like...
You wanted to say hi.
Hello, bird. Yeah, his later books are very difficult to read, and I think The Turn of the Screw, it seems like it would be a nice, easy, popular story, kind of like Dracula or possibly The Beetle. But actually, it's he writes he writes a quite literary style, so it's actually quite challenging. So be prepared if you do. I mean, it's great, but be prepared. It's not like a schlocky horror page turner. It's quite difficult. The next books are all by Plutarch. So these are the lives, and these are the essays. And they're all translated by Robin Wardfield, whom I really like. I think he's a really clear translator, just really readable. I tried to read the lives in the so-called John Dryden translation. I found them unreadable, almost unbearable. Whereas these are written in perfectly plain English and are great for dipping into. I think my favourite is probably The Life of Alexander, but there's so much to choose from. And the essays, again, just really good for dipping into. Michel de Montaigne is obviously a huge fan, so that's high praise. Titles like On the Avoidance of Anger, On Contentment, On Listening. On Listening. So it inspired me to get some more Plutarch, which you'll see in another bookshelf tour. The final massive work is wrong way. Is that showing up perfectly?
Yeah.
Is Gibbon's History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, which I've not read, and I've started to read it, and if I ever do finish it, I'll let you know what I think. But it's obviously a classic. People who say, well, there are inaccuracies, so you shouldn't read it, are idiots because it's beautifully written. And besides, you can read this, and you can read some modern histories, so it's an embarrassment of riches, so why not?
You have read all of Proust.
I've read all of Proust, yeah. Obviously. So yeah, it's not impossible. So that's the top shelf. Thank you very much.
We'll be back with a review at some point.